This is Mike McMahon doing another video. Hopefully we can do it. And I just wanted to say thanks for Minute Push for Graveyard Shift 2. It helped get us to. Oh, now I'm echoing. Okay. That's why you don't have YouTube up. Why? I just want to say a big thanks to everybody. Ethan Van Sciver for having John on last night. In 5 hours, they made over $20,000. The incentive wasn't so much getting the free book U.S. Assassin as much as it was giving John Malin some eyebrows, I guess. But I'm very appreciative of everybody's pledge and donation, and I really hope that you guys enjoy the book. I hope you guys enjoy the 20-page story I did for the supplemental section of it. Graveyard Shift is a really great series and creation. I know people who said they were Comicsgate are now saying they're not Comicsgate, but all the books that have come out of this movement or associated with this movement have been fantastic, in my opinion. And I think mainstream comics can really learn a lesson from what everyone's doing here. They're not kowtowing. They're not pandering. They're doing what they feel is fun. They're drawing and creating what they think. And I think everybody who truly loves comics knows that's why they got into comics, is because it was cool, it was fun, and you didn't have to follow a strict guidelines of you can't have women too sexy and you can't do this and that. Nobody cared. People just wanted good stories. People just want escapism, and with the world the way it is now, with it being so you better line or else, I think escapism is needed more than anything right now. Infiltrate our medium. I don't think it has a place. They've already done it to movies. I don't really watch a whole lot of regular TV, so I don't really see it in that. But it's just, it's almost taking to the nth degree when there's a movie or a story or something that comes out and the public really react positively to it, and then Hollywood gets its hands on it and they want to make a sequel or they want to make a reboot or whatever, and it is so watered down and horrible and it tanks really, really badly. That's kind of what's happening with comics right now, is these people who before had no interest in comics, none, but they saw it as a way that they could have a platform, and all I see them doing is tearing this industry that I love, this industry that is so part of who I am. I don't ever remember a time when I didn't have a comic. I don't ever remember a time when I wasn't drawing, when I wasn't inspired by this industry. And I'll be damned if I let anybody come into a place that I have been beat up for, been harassed for. Now it's the last decade or so, it's more acceptable. So, all those, assholes from school who would give people like me a hard time are now like, oh, it's so cool and it's so awesome, and oh, it's so cool that you draw. It's like, well, okay, like, 30 years ago you didn't think it was. It's just because the culture has accepted it and now it's a cool thing to do. I don't want to come off like a fan of a band that goes, mainstream is like, oh, well, I was into them before they were cool. But this means more to me. This industry means more to me than it ever will to those people. To the people who just came in uh, because everybody else is doing it, because it's now socially acceptable to be a comic book fan or a fan of comic book movies. And, it's maybe just me being a bitter old man, but that's how I feel. And like I said, I'll be damned if I let anybody come into this industry and try to burn it down for the sake of having uh, this bullshit platform to voice their message of what they think is anti-hate is actually hate. Telling people what you can and cannot do, telling people what you can and cannot say is kind of bullshit. And it's exactly they are the people that they think that they're fighting against. It's pretty ridiculous. But I went off on a tangent. I tend to ramble, so I apologize for people in the future who come on my streams or want to join in or want to watch. I ramble, kind of stream of consciousness when I talk. But getting back to what the video is really about is I'm just so proud of what we've accomplished. I'm proud of the work that I've done. I'm really proud of the stuff that I'm working on right now, which is Volume 2 of U.S. Assassin. And I really hope you guys stick around because I know Mark and I have at least 4 volumes worth of product for you guys. And, I will draw this guy till I die if I'm allowed to. Um, it's a a character and subject matter that makes me feel like that kid growing up in the 80s where movies were fun and kind of nonsensical, and comics were kind of the same way. And this is kind of Mark and I's love letter to American Ninja movies, which him and I both love. We both love movies like Lost Boys, which are kind of horror comedy kind of combo, and just all those fun movies, Monster Squad, and there was a lot of ridiculousness that came out of the 80s that I don't think would stand a chance today, but it's because I think more chances were given back then for, oh, it's kind of a quirky idea, let's try it. And now everybody is so concerned about the bottom line that nobody wants to take a chance on something like Big Trouble in Little China, something like that. And there's not many studios that do like I think it was Canon or Orion Pictures, the people that did like Universal Soldier and the American Ninja movies and stuff like that. You have companies now like Blumhouse that do horror movies that are kind of good quality on a low budget. Um, but I don't think there's really anything like that for action movies or quirky, kind of fun 80s movies like there were. Um, but yeah, this is so much fun. There's so many possibilities. What we do have planned for Volume 2 is, I would say it's Volume 1's kind of a little bit of a roller coaster where it kind of you introduce the characters and you get to kind of know them a little bit and kind of see the threat that is presented. But I think Volume 2 is definitely going to be a little more of a gut punch, a little bit more of that kind of like how Aliens was like this action horror roller coaster. Not that we're going to have a lot of horror in this book, but um, that roller coaster aspect of it, of fun. And I think uh, volume 3 and 4 um, is just going to expand the universe that we're creating. We got some fun ideas that I'm not going to spoil right now, so I'm not going to talk about it. Um, yeah, I really hope you guys like this. Volume 1 was drawn over the course of a little over 2 years, I think. I do work a day job. It's a factory job. It's long hours. It's working in extreme heat and humidity. And usually when I get home, I'm lucky if I have like a block of even an hour to draw. So it took me a long time um, to kind of find my way. And I think you guys will see that in this book. You know, um, you'll see an artist find its confidence um, with the art anyway. Um, and I've had I believe majority of the third quarter of or third third of the book um, is mainly me inking myself straight from Blue Lines, and I think that's where you see a huge amount of confidence. I have a couple of friends of mine that I've known for years, Greg Paulson, who I've known probably 25 years now. He inked a few pages. Um, Tom Schladorn, I probably just murdered his last name. I've known him for probably 12 years, I think. He did some work at the tail end of the first third, and then for part 2 or the second third and a couple pages of the last third is a guy I came across on Instagram, Corey King, um, who is a guy that wanted a chance. And I felt it was maybe not a responsibility, but kind of a pay it forward because John and Mark took a chance on me and gave me this opportunity. So um, I felt I liked what he had up on Instagram. I think now he physically inked the pages that I had given him. And I think some of the stuff that he's been doing lately has been digital, and his digital stuff is really great. Um, so I'm hoping that he can find more opportunities because of this. I hope that doors open for him because he has a love of this industry just as much as any of us do. Um, but yeah, last night floored me. I stayed up till 2:30 in the morning watching the whole stream go down. Um, I was, you know, I was on the edge of my seat because it seemed like it was such a huge gap to jump to get to 170, and we made it to 174 and some change. That's just amazing, and that's all to you guys, to the fans, to the people that love this movement, to the people that love uh, comics and comics that you haven't seen in a really long time, um, and not just a bunch of talking heads. I can guarantee you there is. I could probably count on out of 80 pages. I could probably count on one hand the amount of pages that have just talking heads on it. And if there are just talking heads on it, I try to um, lessons that I try to implement lessons that I've gleaned from. I'm old school, so I used to have all the VHS tapes of the comic book greats, and I remember Todd McFarlane talking about making boring talking scenes interesting. Whether I put a part of the conversation at a Dutch angle, or through something in the environment, you know My wife is a great photographer, um, and she does a lot of different kind of photography. But when she does her photography, she'll find neat ways to make moments more interesting. Shooting through trees to add like a couple that are in an embrace or something. And so, I've kind of taken the lessons I've seen her do and try to implement those in my work. So I try to not make boring stuff boring. Um, I'm really trying to amp up everything because I'm an '80s kid, but late '80s, early '90s comics were just amazing. Were just they were that popcorn ride you're at the top of the roller coaster and it's just fun. It's just fun and it's great, and I love that kind of stuff. And so that's what I want to do. That's what I want to draw, and I'm hoping you guys stick around with me. I hope you guys dig what we're doing. Um, but yeah, once again, you guys are just amazing. Ethan Van Sciver for having John on last night was great. I really don't think we would have made 170, 174 without his channel. Um, uh, Cecil, um, I love Cecil. He makes me laugh all the time, and I don't ever want to see his real face because for me he will always be Dom DeLuise from Cannonball Run, and I just want to hear him once go dun dun dun. And even Roe from War Campaign. And I'll be honest and upfront, I'm not going to bullshit. Um, I've only had one interaction with some War Campaign guys, and I just kind of ignored it um, because it kind of seemed like they were fishing for a response. But Roe himself, I think yesterday proves to me that he's about helping this community grow, helping books get where they need to be. I am friends with people on my Twitter that are War Campaign, and I have no problems with those guys, none whatsoever. Um, I try to stay out of drama as much as I can. Um, I don't think we do ourselves any favors when we go out of our way to try to create drama. Um, I just want to make comics. Um, I just want to entertain people. I want to share my art to as many people as I can, and so that's my goal. But I appreciate Roe and his efforts, um, and Cecil and John for I mean, big time for John for um, not only letting me do because I've been a fan of Graveyard Shift forever. Just give me 1 second. I can show you. All right, here we go. This is the preview book that came out in 2011. And this was my preview book for 2011. Both written by Mark Polton. And John and I drove out I live in the Midwest, and I drove up to Ohio, picked up John, and we drove to New Jersey for the PhillyCon with Mark and Mark and his wife Chrissy were gracious enough to let us stay at their house. Our buddy Sean Arendt was also on hand, and I accidentally hugged him with my keys in my hand, so I stabbed him. But he's still friends with me, so it's okay. But yeah, so this, I've been waiting 8 years to have like the real thing in my hands, and if anybody has one of these, they're very rare. I think there's less than 50 of them in existence. The insides are completely different. Not You'll see some key designs that are the same, but the art is completely different. John had a long time to refine who he was as an artist. During this time, as soon as that came out, he got the job doing Youngblood for Rob. Um, that's a guy I don't want to talk about. But John grew. I think his Youngblood stuff is some of my favorite stuff, even more than Cable. And Max Hammer, thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you're not disappointed when you get U.S. Assassin. Just know that I'm gonna give 120% every time I can, and so hopefully every time something new comes out for it, it's gonna be better and better, and I hope you guys will stay with me for that journey. But yeah, so I met John and Mark on the Liefeld boards, which is honestly, those guys are friends with Rob. I don't really care for Rob. I appreciate what he did for the industry, but I think he's a scam artist. But that's another video. Real quick though, it was either yesterday or today, he said that he's a better artist than Todd McFarlane, which is funny because him and Todd are supposed to be so close. That couldn't be further from the truth. Rob might have had a bigger impact with Deadpool and Cable and whatever, but Todd on his worst day is a million times better than Rob on his best. And honestly, Rob's been skating on a really sloppy excuse of a style, like early 2000s, like 2005 Rob. That was great. I loved it. I loved the Cable X-Force miniseries that he did. I thought that was his best work, and it's just slid downhill since, attitude-wise too. He doesn't care for his fans. Says he does, but he doesn't. That's why people are waiting 6 years for a Kickstarter. Anyway, but that was the only really good thing that came out of the Liefeld boards was meeting all these people. Like, I got to meet Kanan White, Ben Jones, John Malin, Mark Hilton, Sean Aaron, Terry Sala, Marat Michaels. Marat is my boy. I love that dude. He's actually given me some opportunities. I've drawn a couple of issues of Naughty and Nice for his Counterpoints comics. I don't remember all the issue numbers offhand, but he's given me kind of my first opportunities in a long time. I did some publishing in the mid-90s and it all sucked. But Marat's extending me these opportunities, kind of help get the ball rolling for stuff. But that community was really great, and a lot of those people I'm still very good friends with, and those are my ride or die guys. I will never say a bad thing about them, even if they disagree with me. I don't care, because if everybody felt the same about everything, it'd be really boring. But yeah, Graveyard Shift is even more so than, say, something like Red Rooster or even Cyber Frog. I think Graveyard Shift hits a nerve that people have been waiting for. Like this was before Universal's Dark Universe stuff that failed. You know, trying to make superheroes out of Universal monsters. These guys did it, started doing it in 2010. And I think people really want that, but they want it done really well, which is why Graveyard Shift succeeds. And that last Mummy movie was kind of a failure and kind of kneecapped the Dark Universe. And I think if this snowballs into something bigger, I hope to see Graveyard Shift cartoon. I hope to see a Graveyard Shift TV show or movie, toys. It lends itself to all that stuff without whoring itself out to have those things. It's just a great concept, and if it's just a comic for the rest of its existence, great. If it can become other things, great, even better, because it's going to get itself a wider audience. And I really think that Mark and John have tapped a vein that has needed to be tapped. Shot some adrenaline into the creativity and what you can do with comics. Um, but yeah, those guys gave me a chance, and um, Mark and I have been working on U.S. Assassin for a long time. All the while, I kind of going, hey, when's Graveyard Shift coming? Hey, when's Graveyard Shift coming? And then John gave me the opportunity to draw 2 pinups for Volume 1. And they were gracious enough to give me 4 pages. So there's a black and white of my work, and then there's the colored version right next to it, which is amazing. And I'm very grateful for that, because it got me a little bit more into the public eye of this community. And then with Volume 2, originally for Volume 1, I was lined up to do the Ashcan that Nerd Wonder wound up doing, which I'm really glad that she did that. I know the story would have been different for me if I had done the Ashcan, but I needed to button up U.S. Assassin and make sure it was done before I did anything else. And she did a great job anyway. Everything I've seen from it is great. She has a fantastic style. And it was great that she got that kind of first opportunity too, because I had done some stuff, but I think that really helped put her in a public eye. And then I got to be part of the supplemental book with 2 other great teams. And I can't wait to see it. I have not seen the other 2 stories. I've seen like a page here and there, but I'm excited to see that too, as a fan. And on top of that, seeing the main book, seeing what John and Mark have come up with, because all I know Graveyard Shift wise, story wise, is the story that I drew for the supplemental book, and that's it. I don't know anything else more than anybody else does. But yeah, these guys, took a chance on a guy in his mid 40s, and who, if he wasn't so stupid and stubborn, should have quit a long time ago. But I'm glad I didn't, because I'm having more fun now than I did when I was in my 20s. Drawing and creating and interacting with people. But yeah, Graveyard Shift is great. I really, at this point, it has to go on. I would be shocked if it stopped after Volume 2, which it's not. It'll keep going. As long as people are there, it'll keep going. But yeah, I really appreciate everybody for pitching in, for getting us to that hurdle. Like I said at the beginning, I'm positive it was more about getting, eyebrows on John, which is funny because I've known him a decade and I never noticed. I don't know if it was something that had occurred between the last time I saw him and now, but I never really noticed the whole eyebrow thing. So, but if that's what it took to get you guys to get us to 170, then I appreciate it. I appreciate the sacrifice John made, putting Sharpie on his head. But I don't really have a whole lot much else to say without rambling like a complete moron. Just know that I really hope you guys stick with us. I really hope you guys enjoy what we're doing. And I don't want to see this stop. I want to see this snowball. I want to see more people, more creators, more people doing their books. And just number one thing that I was taught by by John was focus on your book, focus on your YouTube channel, stay out of drama, ignore it, because it neither helps nor hinders you unless you get involved, and just have fun. And that's what I plan on doing for as long as I can. And as long as you guys want to see stuff from me, let me know. If you guys want commissions from me, send me a direct message. I'm always open. I can always make time. But yeah, I'm hoping sometime maybe next year we can get like a shirt or like a hat with the logo on it, because I want it. So if I want it, I want to make it available to everybody else too. So we're going to work on that. We're going to see how people react to Volume 1. Like I said, Volume 2 is already in the process of being drawn. This was just kind of to get my juices going. This is a homage to Amazing Spider-Man 316. And one of my previous videos, it shows me doing the blue lines for this. And I just kind of eyeballed it. I didn't, it's not traced or anything, because there is no room for a logo. And on the Amazing Spider-Man cover, this is a lot smaller so that you can put the Amazing Spider-Man logo. So I'm still learning. You never stop learning. Let's see. I'll post it. I'll show you guys this. This is, I'll show. There we go. That's a bad guy for Volume 2. I believe he goes by the name of Splorch. Yeah, anything else is kind of going to be giving away stuff, so I don't want to get in trouble. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. Appreciate it. I hope I am worthy of your support, the pledges, and I just I can't thank you guys enough, because I honestly never thought I would be in a position like this. I'm sorry, I'm growing my beard out, so it's tickling my nose. I never honestly thought I would ever be in a position where I would have a YouTube channel and start doing videos. I never thought I'd be in a position where I'd have a comic going into a second volume, that I would have 80 pages done of a book that is going to be coming out, much less working on a book that I love. To me, working on Graveyard Shift is like working on Green Lantern or Firestorm, which were my favorite characters growing up, Spider-Man. To me, as an adult, working on Graveyard Shift is equal to that. And I know a lot of people are probably like, what? But it's true. I'm a super fan of John's. I'm a super fan of Mark. And I love that book so much. It is my #1 Comicsgate book. It's my #1 indie book. It's my #1 book that I look forward to. I read it all the time, just flipping through it, trying to learn much tips, but just kind of see how another artist, that's kind of what artists do when they look at other people's books, is they see how they attack how they would attack a problem or a situation in the book, how they would light it, set it up, what angle or whatever. So I'm always looking at that stuff. I'm now more of an artist follower than books, but the stuff coming out of Comicsgate is making me want to follow books again and not just the artist, because the concepts and the content are fantastic. Starblades, I'm sorry, Kyle Ritter, you nobody should be that talented. Nobody. I'm just sorry. Just kidding. It's a good thing artists aren't Highlanders, because everybody would be coming for your head. The dude's an amazing colorist and a fantastic artist. Like Dale Keown, Jim Chung had a baby, and there he is, just blowing everybody away, seemingly easily. But don't ever let don't ever let somebody else's success or talent deter you from continuing to doing, because I made that mistake when I was younger in my 20s. Rejection is hard, especially when you're not used to it. I just learned over time, you just got to kind of put your nose down to the grindstone, do the work, and whether people like it as much as somebody else's, that's fine. But there are people that are going to like your work. And honestly, to me, it doesn't matter how many people enjoy it, as long as somebody enjoys it. Then I know what I've done has been worthwhile. Like I said, I'm sorry, guys. I ramble like a crazy person. I'm sure going to be in old folks' home soon. But again, thank you guys so much. If you can, keep your eye on this channel, because I will be posting. I have a camera coming that I'm going to hook a webcam to hook up to my table instead of my phone, because my phone doesn't like StreamYard at all, so I can't really do drawing videos very well. But that's mainly what I'm going to be doing. Is I'm going to be either drawing commissions live and talking to people, or probably drawing panels of pages for volume 2 that don't give anything away. So I'll be taping, masking stuff off so you can't see anything that would be a potential spoiler. And I hope you guys will join me for that. But yeah, it's great. I'm very pleased with how this has gone. I couldn't be happier. I couldn't in a million years could have dreamed it. So thank you guys so much. I know you're tired of hearing me say it, but I will say it till I have no breath left. Thank you. And hopefully I'm probably going to do most of my videos on the weekends. I might be able to squeeze one in during the week, but it's really hard with the day job, and I have 4 kids. Trying to rival Mike for how many kids I can have. Actually, I'm done. But yeah, I'll try to get on here minimum once a week with some content. And yeah, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share the link if you can, so I can grow this more than, I think I have like 8 people on here. And I'm, even if I have 8, I'm still going to do stuff, just because I'm a goofball anyway. But thank you guys so much. NL Deadman, thank you. Yes, lots of detail. I've always felt I appreciate people who can do a minimalist style. I'm friends with Phil Hester, and he has a great black and white style. It's very Alex Toth, and I couldn't do it if I. I'm sure part of it is I use a lot of my detail to try to cover flaws. So, but I've just always been a fan of detail. Always been a fan of those guys that put in so much extra work. I'm a huge Todd fan, so I love the grit and the bits of stuff. And but yeah, no, thank you guys for coming and watching. I appreciate it a whole bunch. I've got 4 viewers. I thought I'd have no viewers, so I appreciate it. Yeah, so to all you guys watching, thanks. Like I said, I'm going to try to do this at least once a week, and I'll try to have guests on here when I can. And I'll see you guys later. I gotta get ready for tomorrow for the day job, but we'll see you guys soon. And again, thanks. I don't know what else to say, but thank you. Thank you. Hopefully when we have a campaign for volume 2, I'm going to try to do as many goodies as I can. Prints, cards, whatever. I will throw the kitchen sink at it for you guys. As long as Mark doesn't, say no. But thanks, guys, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye. Maybe.